So hi all, welcome to this video session. In this session we will see the difference between filters and keep filters in DAX. This is a very frequently asked interview question. So let's get started with this. So we will see what is filters, what is keep filters in DAX, the syntax and the examples, the key differences, when to use each, and we will see couple of scenarios. So filters, it returns a table that is a filtered version of another table. It overrides the current filter context, and it is typically used in calculate or calculate table. When we look at keep filters, then it modifies the existing filter context without replacing it. This is a very important point, and we will see in the scenario where once we use the all function to remove the filters, keep filters, it respects and retains the existing filter context, whereas filters, it removes the filter context. It preserves the slicer and visual filters, and it also works inside the calculate or calculate table function just like filters. When it comes to syntax, this is the general syntax for both the filters and the keep filters. For keep filters, we need to keep in mind that this is the that we generally use filter within the keep filters. It is like a safe bet to use it. So these are the key differences. Filter replaces the filter context. Keep filters adds to the existing filter context. Filter overrides the slicer and the visuals. So slicer and visual, these are like external filters. Filter generally overrides the slicer and the visual context, but keep filters, it respects the existing slicer. So it respects whatever filters you are applying within the slicer, it will respect that and it will filter accordingly. Filter is more flexible, keep filters is more restrictive. So this is when we are going to see through an example. So let us get into Power BI. We are dealing with this oil amount data. So let us get into the data first. So let us edit the query. This will open up the Power Query Editor. Okay. So in this particular table, you can see we have 4 columns: month, year, oil companies, and quantities. Okay. So we want to find out that during the month of April, or during the month of May, or during the month of June, for all the months, we want to find out what is the total quantity that we have for the oils. Okay. So this is something that we have to find out. You can see here that we have less than 1% empty. So we want to get rid of this empty null values. We don't want this. So let's click on OK. And let us close and apply this. Once we close and apply this, this pop-up will come where it is going to ask to apply changes. It will take some time to load the data. Okay, so it has loaded the data. Now we will be calculating the measures. Let's filter the particular quantity on with respect to month. Okay, so let's do that. We will be using the calculate function. Sum. We want to find out the sum of the total quantities. So let's do that. And now here in the filter, you can see calculate expects a filter. Now there are 3 ways of doing it. One is without using the filter or the keep filter function. Like directly I will be writing the expression. So let's do that one first. Okay. So this will be your month equals to, let's say I'm going to search for April. Okay. And let's calculate this. This is going to be measure. Now let me create one more measure. In this measure, I'm going to name this as measure filter, and I'm going to calculate the sum of the total quantities, but this time I'm going to use the filter function. Within the filter function, it expects the table. So which table? Obviously the oil amount data and the filter expression. So the month equals to April. And we are going to create one more filter, this time using the keep filter function. So let's name this as measure keep filters. Let's use the calculate the sum of this quantity, and now we will use the keep filters. Within the keep filters is only asked for expression, so let's use the filters expression within the keep filter. So filter table name will be this, comma the expression, the month is equals to April. Okay, now that we have these three measures ready, we are now ready to show it in the table visualization. Okay, so let's click on the table, let's expand this, and let's drag the month column here and the quantity column here. Now you can see that for April the total sum has been calculated, for August the total sum has been calculated, for all the months respectively the total total quantity has been calculated. Now I am dragging this measure. In this measure we are neither using the filter or the keep filter, so let us drag it here. Now after dragging this filter, you can now see that the April, whatever value that we are getting for the April month, it is getting populated for all the rows, for all the months. You can see this, right? This is around 2,26,123.43 tons. So this much amount is getting reflected for all the months, if you can see this. Now if I go ahead and drag the measure filter, you will see what will happen. It is only showing me the filter, it is only showing me the value for the month that has been filtered, that is April month. The rest of them, it's coming as blank. And if I go ahead and drag this keep filters, it is also showing me the value that has been filtered for the month that has been filtered, that is April. For the rest of them, it is showing me blank value. So with this we got an understanding what is the difference between not using the filter or the keep filter function versus using the filter and keep filter function. Now we need to understand what is the difference between filters and keep filters function, right? You see, there is, looking at this table you won't see the difference, but let's just tweak the code for these measure filter ones. Okay, before that let me introduce this visualization, this external slicer, and in this slicer let me add the month column, and I will show you why. This is like an external filter for us. Okay, so let's click on the measure filter. In the measure filter we will be using the all function. What the all function will do, whatever current filter context that we have in this particular screen, right, in this particular visual, it will remove all the filter context from this visual. So you see, once I use the all within the measure filters, right, it removed all the filters and it has worked in the same way as this particular measure where we did not apply any filter function. So what exactly it is doing is, it is not it is giving the value for all the months on the basis of which it has been filtered. So we have filtered on the basis of April month, so it has given me the values for all the months, populated for all the months with the April value. But if I do the same thing for keep filters, right, in keep filters if I use the all function, see what will happen. You see, nothing happens. So this is the basic difference. This is the difference where measure keep filters, it respects the current filter context, whereas measure filter, it doesn't respect the current filter context, it overrides the current filter context. So if I go ahead and if I, let's say if I select April, it will show me for all the months. But if I select, let's say December, you see, measure keep filter, it is not showing anything, which is something that we want. But on the other hand, measure filter, it is showing me this value. So this is the difference between measure filter and keep filter. Basic difference is that measure filter, it overrides the current filter context, especially when we use some external filters like slicer. And measure keep filters, it respects the current filter context, it doesn't override it. Another difference lies in the execution time. So keep filters, it generally operates faster compared to filter function, or without using any of these functions. Keep filters always works faster. So in query optimization or during DAX optimization, we can definitely use keep filters instead of filter. Now, why is this showing blank? And why for all these values it is populating the results, right? If we have filtered on the basis of April month, right, then it should not be populating the values for the rest of the months, right? But here it is populating the value, but here it is not populating the value. So the reason is that it has already calculated the value on the basis of the sum of quantities, right? It has already applied this filter values on the basis of sum of quantities. But now when we are applying this filter that is on the basis of April month, it is kind of using like an AND operator in this case. So what it is saying is that I need to find out the value of the sum of quantities for the month of April, okay, but not for the month of August. So here, because the condition is failing, that's why it is showing me NT sign. But here in this case there is no such AND operation that is happening. That is the reason why it is kind of giving me the same value for all the months, even though the filter has been applied only for the month of April. So it is like the filter applied for April and filter applied for August. So because filter applied for August is not present, and because it's like an AND operator, so it will give you the null value for the keep filters. But here in measure, no such filtration is happening. No such filter condition is like that is happening at the back end. So this is like the basic differences. I hope you really enjoyed this session. If you did, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, and please don't forget to press the bell icon for notification. Thank you.